Ashfoot's Story, Chapter 2. Ash's eyes blinked open slowly. There was a bright light shining in her eyes, and she instinctively closed them again and let out a soft whine. Her head was pounding, and her muscles ached from fighting the hunters. The hunters! Her eyes shot open again as she remembered what had happened. She had to get to her brother. She heard a hunter shout nearby and felt skin pressed down on her neck, but as she tried to look upwards, she managed to catch a glimpse of a hunter holding her down. She yelped as a sharp needle, like the one that had made her sleepy, was thrust into her shoulder, and she watched as a lime-green fluid drained out of the needle and into her skin. Filled with determination to get away, she thrust her head backwards and bit the person on the hand, feeling her teeth connect with skin. The person let go of her and clutched their hand in pain as Ashfoot found the strength she needed to stand and run. She looked around in a panic and saw that she was on a huge silver table with strange silver arms all around her, holding strange things in their two-fingered claws. She darted towards the edge of the table, but skidded to a stop as she saw that it dropped off and the floor below her was very far down. She yelped as a hand grabbed her back leg. She twisted and tried to scramble free of the hunter's grasp, and managed to get them off by twisting around and snapping at their hand. She watched in amazement as they let back, despite the fact that her teeth had not come close to their skin. But now was not the time to wonder what was happening. It was time to run. But there was only one way she could see to get away. She leapt for one of the silver arms and struggled to climb on top. But while she was trying to get up, she felt her paw get tangled in a vine somewhere at the base of the arm. She was stuck. She looked at the hunter's cold paw reaching towards her and struggled to leap free. She leapt at the last second, and the hunter's paw touched something coming out of the wire. Ash leapt at the top of the arm, but it suddenly whirled around and came crashing to the ground as the hunter's hand smacked the metal arm and sent it flying off the table. Ash yelped as she leapt up into the air. She scrabbled at the table, but fell down to the ground and landed on something sharp. She scrambled to her paws and looked under her. There was a sharp needle sticking through her chest, the green contents slowly draining into her. Suddenly, Hunter grabbed her by the scruff and thrust a strong metal cage over her mouth, and tied an itchy black mask over her eyes. She scrambled to get away from the hunter, but they were holding on to her tightly. She was lifted off the ground as they began taking her away. Everything was black from the cloth covering her eyes, but she heard howls and pleads from other creatures. She heard other wolves crying and begging to be set free. She heard one familiar voice. It was Mint. She tried to flail out of the hunter's cold grasp, but her movements were weak, and she felt very tired and small. Mint sounded different, as if they were trapped underwater and screaming to be let out. But the sounds of other wolves faded as Ash fell victim to whatever was making her so tired. All light that had been making its way through the cloth faded to a dark brown, and then a black as she was swept into the darkness of sleep.